My name's Laura Khokhar. I own Available Movers and Storage. So, as the name suggests, we offer moving and storage services. We also offer white glove delivery and receiving and inspection services.
Love that. Can I get a little bit of a backstory on how you got started
Sure.
with your business?
Yeah. So, after a couple of our own horrible moving experiences, and then also my husband working in the industry, we saw the level that was being offered to the community and realized there was definitely an opening there, where we could offer a little higher level service to people. And moving is one of life's biggest stressors.
Yep.
So anything you can do to kind of eliminate some of that stress, that's what our goal is.
I love it. And now I saw some, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe some family pictures. Is the family like all hands on too? Talk to me about that.
That's right. So we are super local. We live in Cascades and Sterling. I have 3 kids who go to schools here. My husband and I run the day-to-day operations together, and we've been doing that for 12 years. So it's a pride point for us.
Love that. And I noticed for some of the services that you offer, it's local moving, long distance moving, commercial moving, office movers, delicate item movers, packing, unpacking, and storage services. I'd like to know a little bit more about the storage services and what that entails.
Yeah. So the great thing about receiving storage from us, we do crated storage. So everything's inventoried. We handle all of it for you. You're not figuring out, do I need a 10 by 30, 10 by 20? Is it upstairs, downstairs? We do it all. So all of your items come directly into the vaults on the truck, go right into our warehouse. They're forklifted and stacked up and tagged and then ready for you whenever your new home's ready, or if you're moving cross country, we can handle all that.
Love that. And now I saw that you also have an affiliated rewards program. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So that's a fun thing that we do for our partners. We, want to make those meaningful relationships with realtors or home inspection companies. We like to work with a great group of people, and we want to make sure all of our clients are handled well through the whole moving process. So with the right agent, home inspector, cleaning companies, we have a program where they can submit leads directly to us, and then we'll make sure that they're all, receiving top tier service.
Love it. That's awesome. And now, when you started your business, did you have like a transition point that was a little bit hard, or did you have a coach, or how did it come about? Was it just like, I'm going to start this, boom?
Kind of. And I've done that in a few areas of my life. But this one, so our moving started as we had a little U-Haul dealership, and we rented out trucks to other people, and then we would just use 1 or 2 trucks and do some moves. And so it started really, bottom level. And then we've just worked our way up till now. We have our warehouse, we have a fleet of our own vehicles, a great crew of guys, and most of our movers have been with us like over 10 years. So
wow.
Yeah, we really make it a family for everybody, including our staff and crew.
That's awesome. How many people would you say that you have on your staff and your crew?
So together right now we're in our off season, so we're down to about between 15 to 20, and then in the summer months we supplement with seasonal workers.
Nice, very nice. And now, as far as marketing goes, what are you doing to outreach and get your name out there about the type of services you provide?
So we do a lot of different areas. We have a marketing team who handles our social media posts. We do mail, which a lot of people think that might not be an effective.
Oh, I love mail.
I do too. Yep. So we do mailers. We have a campaign that goes to new listings, coming soon listings, a different campaign to under contract listings. Yeah. And then of course we do Google AdWords and networking.
All that good stuff. Love it.
Yeah.
And on your free time, what are some things that you like to do to unwind? And what are some boundaries that you set when it comes to home life and work balance?
That's been something near to me recently, because I felt that sort of burnout stage before. I was like, oh, whatever, it's 9 p.m. I'll send this quote really quick, or I'll, return this email. And now as my kids are growing up and we have lots and lots more activities going on, I really try to set it to like a 5-6 o'clock. I'm logging off for the day and doing all the family things. And I just decided, last week that I was going to open a whole volleyball club for my older daughter. So I did that too. So I'm like now I really need to stick with that so that we can
Yes.
focus on our other little activities.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I wish you luck with
Thank
your
you.
journey here.
It's really for fun.
I love it. No, and I love that you're making time. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna do this volleyball thing. It's fine.
Mhm.
I'll find a way.
That's
it's okay.
right. Mm-hmm.
Love that. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years as a person and with your business?
Mm-hmm. So right now we're at this stage where we're really trying to like systematize and have the business able to fully run without us in the day-to-day picture. You know, we want to be there. We want to keep the atmosphere, the family feel, but we don't need to physically be in the building maybe every day. So that would be our goal, is that we can get people in the correct position so that everything's running properly without us in the midst of that.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
And for your warehouse, where is that located at?
In Sterling.
Sterling.
Also. So we really kind of keep our life on Cascades Boulevard.
You do.
Home, office,
Love
school.
that.
Yeah.
Love that little lane you got there for yourself.
That's right.
Perfect. And then what have been some challenges for you as a business owner, whether it comes to hiring staff, retaining, location, clients? Talk to me a little bit about that, and if you could offer some insight for other entrepreneurs who are maybe struggling in that sector.
So moving in the DMV area is very, very competitive. So like every choice that you make, you need to really crunch your numbers, know your numbers. I mean, you could go online and spend $10,000 on Google AdWords in one day and not get a single client. So, and there are other movers who are doing those things. So number one is to really know your numbers, figure out what's working for you, what's not working for you. Another philosophy that I've been kind of strong on the last couple of years is hire quickly, fire quickly. So if someone's just not working out, let them go. Don't hang on to somebody that's dragging down the team. Mm-hmm. And also, if you see somebody out, like if I'm at a coffee shop and I see somebody who's just like amazing, I'll always give my card and be like, do you want to take phone calls for me? You're so sweet, or whatever. Aww. So I like to kind of just keep my eyes out also.
That's good advice. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of people don't think of that. They're like, no, it's only the hiring process here. But if you do see somebody out there who you're like, you know what, this person would be great, worst thing they can say is no, or like, oh, I already have a job.
Exactly.
But you tried, right?
Right. That's right.
And you could find like a diamond in a rough.
Yeah. We found one of our movers who's like one of our top performing guys in a parking lot at a gas station.
Look at that.
Yep.
So you just never know where it could lead you. I love that approach. That's so unique. I feel like maybe somebody will be inspired listening to. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm interacting with people constantly. Why not?
Right. And you pick up on those things that you might not have in an interview. Like we saw him cleaning out his vehicle so nicely and just everything was so tidy. We're like, he's great.
Right. You would never have seen that in his natural environment when no one's watching him except you and like taking notes. That's right. Great. I love it. And then when it comes to hiring people, what type of people are you looking for to work with you that shares like the same core values as you?
So like I said, we really do put an emphasis on family and work-life balance. Like if somebody has something going on at home, I don't want them to come in and feel like, oh, I have to be here while my wife's in the hospital or whatever it is. So we really try to make things work out for everyone so that you're happy to be there. You're there at a time that works for you. And number one is customer service. Like we want to leave the client in their new home with things set up, feeling good, nothing in pieces, hopefully,
right?
Knock on wood. And so that's our number one goal at the end of the day.
I love it. You're the second person today who has touched on their core values being like making sure there's like a balance for home and work-life balance. And I feel like now that's become like such a important thing, which I'm glad we have gotten to the point where we're able to see that. Whereas before, I feel like it's just like work and like smile through the pain and like it's okay, you're bleeding, just keep working, things like that. Nothing too drastic like that, but you know what I mean.
No, absolutely.
And I feel like there's been a shift in that, so I'm happy to hear that business owners are having that mindset as well, and it's refreshing. So I love that you shared that with me.
Thank you. I feel like that's like an American trait to be like work, work, work. My husband's from Pakistan. When his family comes to visit, they're like, when do you guys do fun stuff? You know, I'm like, we don't. This is our life. But when we travel over there, you see the difference in like culturally in different places. And not everybody has this 99% work, 1% fun.
Absolutely.
You can balance it out a little better than that.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that. I actually want to bring this to the topic to talk about is My brother came from Mexico. He was born here, but he lived most of his life in Mexico. And he said coming here, like, everything is so different. Like, everybody's just like work, work, work. And like in Mexico, everybody's more friendly and easier to talk to. Not saying that we're not friendly, but we're just so caught up in the everyday that we just kind of forget to take in those moments and just like be like, hey, how's it going?
Exactly.
So that's strange. Like, it's not strange, but crazy to hear from other perspectives. And then when you sit back and look at it and you're like, wait, I am like that. Or like, yeah, my life really is work, 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 work.
That's right.
It's kind of scary. I'm like, wait, don't tell me that. Don't break my third wall over here.
I know. Right? I know. It's true. I mean, you get out what you put in, right? So if you're only investing in your work life, then that's what you have at the end of the day.
Exactly, man. Anyway, I'd like to ask you, what have been some challenges as a business owner, just starting up your business? I want to see if I can get some insight to share with other people who are maybe looking to start up their business, or maybe they're transitioning and thinking of having another endeavor that they would like to pursue full time.
So number one is definitely knowing your numbers. That took me some time to get down to that. And then also just delegating tasks. You can get bogged down in the day-to-day when you're a business owner, and it still happens to me if I'm not like very aware. So a phone call comes in, this item's missing from storage, and then you get an email from insurance. They need your workers' comp is doing an audit and they need all the payroll for the last 12 months. And then, so then it's like, oh, you may have planned to block off 2 hours to focus on your marketing campaign. But now find yourself behind the laptop looking up reports. So there is so many options out today. There's virtual assistants. There's ways that you can delegate these big, looming, annoying tasks off your plate.
Yes.
That it's affordable. It doesn't have to be another person per se. You can find other ways.
A literal arm and a leg.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that would be a big thing that I would say you should kind of just think about what you're doing. Don't let yourself be side railed all day long on these random different tasks that will come in.
Yep. Absolutely. And then what have been some common misconceptions in your industry, whether it comes to movers or the companies or the storage areas? Talk to me about those.
Well, a lot of times when I go to moving conventions, first of all, it's a lot of broskies around.
Yes.
So then they're like, oh, that's cute. You work with your husband. I'm like, no, I'm 51. So my husband works for me. So that's a big one. It's a male-dominated industry. So sometimes they think like, oh, what do you know about it? Or even just handling a crew of movers as a female. But honestly, I do a better job at that than my husband does. So
period. Simple as that.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to women, girls, all that good stuff about how to like handle yourself? Because I want to know how did you, like, was it a hump that you had to get over where you're just like, nope, I got this, like, let's get out of the way, broskies, I got this?
Yeah. So I think obviously there's a little bit of a transition period, because when you're stepping in, if you don't know the ins and outs, it's like, how is your team going to take you seriously if you're like, oh, whenever you wrap this leather sofa, don't use plastic first, or whatever. So you need to have a little bit of knowledge, and then with that, I feel like we can tune into people a little better. So we can probably have a better way of communicating with them at the end of the day to get the results that we want.
For sure. Yeah. No, I can't only imagine you going to these conventions and they're just like, oh, how cute. And it's just like, no, I'm the CEO.
That's right.
Of the moving company. Okay. I can lift too, bro. No,
exactly. I have done that before.
See, talk to me about that. Like, were you hands-on? And I know you're saying you're stepping away. So starting off, were you just like very hands-on and just trying to know the ins and outs of everything?
Right. So we would find labor from various sources when we were starting, and sometimes that would fall through. And there was one time in particular where there was a college student moving to Virginia Beach, and they had booked a few weeks in advance, and then we just didn't have the crew. And we were like, okay, so we either just like call them and tell them the bad news, or we try to go do it. So we're like, okay, we're doing this. So my husband and I went, and it was the most hilarious thing ever, and a good memory. And also, I mean, what better way to empathize with our crew than to actually have done it yourself?
Right? So that way you know what you're talking about. And you're like, have you even lifted? Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, that one time.
Yeah.
12 years ago.
For your clientele, or maybe people who are moving and are listening to this, or maybe just looking for services for storage, what would you like for them to know? Because I know I live on the 4th floor and I don't want to do that again. Because me and my husband did that and it was like, wow.
Yeah.
We were like dead for 2 days.
Yeah, it's hard. So save your back. Call me. We make the process so easy. Like we can do an on-site estimate. We can do virtual estimate. You can do the inventory on your own. We have a link where you just fill in everything you have, and then we can give you a really clear, concise quote. We do it all via email. You can put in your card. It's just as hands-off and simple as possible. That's what our whole goal is, that you shouldn't have to think again. If you need some boxes, we'll bring them to your door. If you want full service packing, don't do anything. Our guys show up and handle it all for you.
Wow.
Yeah, and we really cater and alter our services based on the situation. So like we have like next week we have a mom. She has several kids and she doesn't want to have like 2 or 3 super long days, with the movers in the house until 10 or 11. So that's no problem. We just shorten the days. We extend the move. So we do those kind of things all the time.
That's so convenient and nice to have, especially working with people's schedules and the type of jobs and family that they have. Like that's wonderful. And because you have your own family too.
Right.
So it's cool to know that there's like a mom out there who like understands, whereas a guy would be like, okay, sure, whatever, lady.
Right.
Or something
it's
like
2 days.
It's just 2 days. Guys are like, we don't sound like that. Whatever.
Yeah. I know. We're really dogging the guys.
I know, right?
We like you.
We like the guys too.
Yeah.
You guys are cool. We're just trying to make a point, but you guys are cool too.
Right. When needed.
When needed. And is there anything that I have not touched on that maybe you want to share, whether it's about yourself, your business, your family, your industry? You have the floor.
Thank you.
You're
so
welcome.
I really operate my life and my business based on my faith. So that's important to me and a core value. And I think that really directs our business as well. So we want to be like honest. We want to be clear. We want to provide a good service. And we also want to be a big part of our community and give back. If I hear about somebody like a couple weeks ago that lost their home to a fire, I'm like, okay, send us addresses. We're picking up all the goods. We're dropping it off. So that's a big part of our business as well, is to give back and to be a good source for the community at any time if need.
I love that. Where are we in the world without people who see and hear and care about the community? Like, and I'm always just so grateful when there's people like you or other people in the community that like to give back, whether it's through the community or doing like events for charity. I think that that's wonderful. And honestly, it restores my faith in like the world sometimes. So I'm glad that there's still good people out there,
Absolutely. You should give back. And our community does, uses our services, puts money in my family's pockets and our business. So it's our way to give back.
Love it. Thank you. Next question. Do you have a mantra or a quote, maybe even a song lyric or a Bible verse that has inspired you in your life? And would you like to share that with our listeners and leave that as a positive message?
Sure. Well, just this past week and kind of touched on our topic of life and work balance. We were in my church session this past Sunday. They said, the devil, if he can't make you bad, he'll make you busy. So slow down. Yes. And I actually shared on my Instagram story a couple of days ago, and it's been on my heart and my mind. And so that kind of fits right into our conversation.
He's keeping me real busy.
Yep.
Keeping me from my mental peace. So
that's right.
Thank you for sharing that. That was a very interesting way of putting it. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.